Hi. So, good evening to all of you. And today I'm just going to start the second class of the collection. And already we have discussed about there's the first class. What we have discussed in the first class. The first class, what we have discussed about the collection is what is the need of collection framework and what was the problem which has been solved by the collection framework, or what was the problem with the simple core Java, you can say, and how we have solved that problems. That is also one important things with the core Java, and that has been solved with, which is collection framework. How we have solved it with the help of collection framework. Okay. And the third important thing, what I was talking about, that was the विवेक चार्जर थोड़ा निकालना तो मेरा. So out of all that now, one second, just give me some. Just a second. So the problem which has been solved with the help of collection framework with the simple core Java, what we were using with the help of array and all the sort of things. Next one, we have also discussed about the basic, you can say, basic API of core Java. That is the collection framework. Collection framework. The basic, when I say that is the basic API of the collection framework. So what is the relation between the different APIs, different classes, interfaces, between all that? That already I have explained. Those who haven't attended this class, or those who have not watched these videos, kindly go through the previous video of the collection framework, which I have already uploaded even on the YouTube also. So you can go through that here, right? So that things already I have just explained here. Now before starting the, you can say, the discussion about the different APIs of the collection framework and that particular APIs, we need to understand few concepts which should be now very clear to you. What is that concept which we wanted to discuss, and you should understand that collection things. Say for example, we have the following things here. Let's say, I'll just open it. Let's say at present what we are just doing is here we have, what is that we are having? It's an collection framework we are having. A very simple understanding, and this is the understanding which you should analyze also. You should even think also that, and once you started thinking this particular or in this way, when you started thinking it, for you things are going to become very easy. So here, let's say I'm saying here is the collection. What's that I'm saying is the collection. So its API is something when I'm saying java.util.collection. And lots of things we are going to discuss in the case of collections here. Let's say that is sort of concurrent API and all other sort of things. Executor framework, everything I'll be discussing here. So java.util.collection, what we have, and it is an interface. If I'll say this is an interface. So one thing is very clear here, that since if it is an interface, so it must be having the methods which without any implementations. It must be having a methods without any implementations. The java.util.collection interface what we have, it must be having the methods without any implementations. Right? In general, I am saying, in general, this must be having methods inside this interface. Interface collection must be having methods without implementation. See, just think like that, I'm saying. So they must be having methods without any implementation. Now we have certain very specific things we are having at present. Let's say, and I'll just write it even here, that what all things and how we are just going to talk about. Let's say now this particular one, let's say this one, here this one, and this one. When I say these three, so in these three, we have one which is an list interface. It's a list interface. Next one, what we are having, we have an different types of interface here. So we have set and more appropriately queue. These three are the and even these three, like you say, that is the list, set and set. See, so here I'll write it in a different way. Once one what we have is the collection. It's an interface we have. This is one interface. Now this further has been implemented by the I'm taking the majorly interfaces name which is most frequently used one. So the number one what we are talking about is the list. Second one is the set, and the third important point is the which is queue. These three interfaces are extending, you can say, and interfaces, one more thing you can note it down. Interface extends to other interface. It's not implementing it. Remember that point. It's not implementing it. It's extending it. This is one very frequent problems generally you guys do. So list, set and queue when I'm talking about three. Now again when I say that is the further which is there, the list, when I say the list, so it's been implemented by, it's an array list. Here I'll write that is the linked list, and other than this I'm just writing array list, linked list, and the next point which I'm writing is the, well, what you can say, it's a vector. These three different classes what we have, array list, linked list, as well as the vector. Now when I talk about these three things, So my question is here that why? My question is here why a single interface which is a collection, and even you should guys think it like this. I can tell in one point and one line, but before doing it you should first understand it, that how it works. So when I'm saying collection, so collection which is there is being implemented by list, set and queue. So two possibilities, two things we are getting here, a clear idea with this, two possibilities. Number one, or you can say that is the both possibility might be in both of the cases. See, so whatever methods which is available in the case of collection interface, that might be or that must be there with the list also. Same thing means the methods which has already been defined in the case of collection interface, that methods are going to be in the case of list, set and queue. In all these three interfaces the same methods are going to be there, but other than the methods which is coming from the collection in case of list, set and queue, don't you think that there could be some other methods also, maybe which is newly introduced in the case of list, in the case of set and queue? And yes, it is there like that, because there could be some implementations which is different from the or there could be some methods which might not be coming from the collection into the list, as well as same thing in the set and same thing in the queue. Now again, here when I say that is the list, so further list which is there, under the list we are having the three different classes. It's an array list, linked list and vector. When I talk about these three different classes, array list, linked list and vector, when I am talking about three different classes, it means that same interface has been implemented by three different classes, and whether you should agree on one point, that the measure or the maximum number of methods implementations in these three classes are same method which is being implemented. So why it is like that? Because I hope you got my point. See, when I'm saying here that the list, so list which is there has been further implemented by, guys, understand it, this list which is there has been implemented by further number one, which one? Array list. Second one, see, first one what I have written is the array list. Second one what I'm writing here is the linked list. Third one is the vector. These three classes which has been implementing list. So one thing is again very clear, that the same method implementations we are going to write. So why the same method? And if I'll say the methods which is available inside the list, is that in another form, can we say that the same methods we are going to override in three different places in a three different forms? Yes, we are doing it. So now I'm coming to the topic here is, see, the collection which is there. In this collection, these all different APIs which has been created by just following a kind of data structure. And that kind of data structure functionalities which has been, or they have tried to implement in these different, you can say with the help of classes. So what they're doing is, the same method implementation, same methods are there in the list, set as well as mostly same is there. I'm saying mostly, I'm not saying all, but yes, mostly it is same in the list, set and queue. But there are few different implementations could be there. What is the few different implementations? I'll be definitely discussing it one by one. I'll be showing you the API and through that we will discuss. So when we have list, when we have linked list, when we have vector, so the method implementation is same in these classes. Even what we have the set classes, even what we have is the queue classes. But depending on its nature of that corresponding API, that corresponding method has been overridden differently in the different cases. It's been overridden differently in the different cases. That could be either in the case of list, that could be there in the case of set, that could be there in the case of queue. In all these places, it's been overridden differently in the different forms. Any questions from here? So I hope you understand the point what I have explained to you. Right? I hope you understand the point what I am trying to explain you here. And see, now we need to understand what is the list functionality. See, the generally functionality which is there in the list as well as the set. List which is there will be storing the different types of elements, but it allows the duplicacy. It allows the duplicacy, major things I am telling, and then I'll be coming to each one of these API one by one. So major thing is that the list is storing the different types of elements, and since it is storing the different types of element in this, what is happening here in this, what things are happening here in this array list, linked list as well as the vector, that it is having the different types of implementations, right? But see, list is storing the different types of elements without avoiding the duplicate elements. So the method implementation have been done in a similar way, in the similar form, so that it can store the duplicacy. The business logic of all these array list, linked list and vector has been written in the similar manner, so that we can, what we can do, so that we can write its implementation. We can write in the different ways, in the different forms. And the next one what we have is the set. So set, whatever the set we are having is not storing the duplicacy. The first and the primary focus of the set is it stores different types of elements, but yes, there are something which is not storing different types of element, like the shorted set. In this, I'll write it here. What I'll do here, see, it's again the major implementation which I'm writing here. The major implementations which I'll be writing in this form is, you just have a look in this. The very first one, number one, is the hash set. Second one is the linked hash set. And the class, I'm talking about the classes, I'm not talking about tree set. See, these all stores the element without duplicacy. There should not be duplicate elements in this. That is one. So the same method implementation in the case of set has been written again in the different way, different form. And similarly, again, when we talk about the queue, so there is again the different kinds of processing and implementation related to the queue is there. Okay. So hope you understand the meaning of how these corresponding APIs been implemented and how it's different ways in the different forms things are going here into this. You should understand this here nowadays. Any questions from this though? If you are having any questions, you can please ask. Any questions? Any questions? Hope you are understanding the concept what I am talking about. Are you getting the points which I am trying to explain? Okay. See, you should keep on responding something to that. If you're not responding to that, for me it is difficult to understand whether you are in the same page or not. Okay. Now let's understand in the same thing as I'll be explaining in something different way. What is the different way implementations which I'm showing to you? Let's open the command prompt. Here I'm opening the command prompt. Hope you are able to see this command prompt. Okay. Here, fonts, layouts, colors. Now check it out here. See, first I'm opening Java P, Java dot util dot collection. See, this collection is what? It's an interface. It's an interface. See here, it's an interface, and you need to again and see from the Java 8 there is the stream API has been implemented and it's introduced, which is a very important concept. Streams is the very important concept that we will be going through that one by one. Okay. So in general, what we find here is this most methods are available in the case of collections. And now when I'll write here something Java P, Java dot util dot, let's say, what is that you want? List. You see here. One second. See here. The list what we have. See, one thing you should be very clear with this. What as is I'm saying here? That is an interface what we have. Util.list extends the java.util.collection, and inside this now we have the different methods. Fine. Are you getting the similar kind of methods which is there in the above one also? Mostly you will be getting it here. And your task here now you see. This is also an interface, it's been implemented, but other than the above methods which could have been implemented, other than that some other new methods APIs has been given into that. And similarly when I say that is other than the list, so when I talk about list, in the list what we have next or util dot, I'll write here the array list. So see, mostly when you find in the case of array list the implementation of the methods which is available in the collection as well as the list, that all methods has been implemented in these cases. Mostly you will find these all methods, and I'm not showing you anything extraordinary things. It is just an you should have the habit of studying the things like this. Either you are studying core Java or you are studying advanced Java, you are studying Spring, Struts, Hibernate, whatever you are studying. If you are going into this format, you're just trying to get what APIs, how it's been implemented, what all the internal processing. So from going through these all things, you will understand it very clearly that what is the flow of things, and even in your mind everything will go properly. So important part is what? To understand the API, to check it out the APIs, how these APIs are there into this. This API is a very important concept. So we have seen it now. Array list, even you will see the abstract list and list. So main what I'm saying here, talking about is the even there are many small things you will find, small classes, small abstract classes you will find, like the way what we have seen is the abstract list. So we have the list, we have a clonable, we have a serializable, we have a random access. So clonable in your past classes, in the cloning we would have discussed. Serializations we will be definitely discussing in the further upcoming classes, that how we are serializing a different objects, how we are storing the state of object in one file and extracting it from the another, deserializing it. That we will discuss it. Fine. So this is list. Now, if in the same form we just write it here, what do you want to write here? Let's check. I'll write Java P, Java dot util dot Java dot util dot. What you want? It's a vector. Let's see what has been written. So as already I was talking about in the vector about that, because it's a legacy class and it's been introduced after doing the re-engineering in the collection framework. So see, it's most of the methods what we are getting here is the synchronized one. What is the meaning of synchronization? So already that we have discussed again in the multi-threading topic. So this particular one is the synchronization. What is that? It's a synchronization. And this synchronization is here. So it's completely synchronized. And already we know that the vector is a synchronized because it's a legacy class. And in a legacy class, the complete legacy classes, all the 5 legacy classes has been synchronized that all have been synchronized. And if you are just going through that, another one, linked list I'm talking about here. So you see guys, have a look here. See, peek, poll first, push, these all are the new methods which is not coming, you can say, from the collection interface, but it's the new inclusion of that corresponding class which is called as the linked list. That's been implemented inside this. So this is how things are working. This is how these implementations are going on into this. And now when I say something like this, and in this particular way, we are going for another different way, that's in Java dot. Let's say I'm writing util dot, Java dot util dot. What next? Let's say I'm writing a set. See here, set. You'll find most of the methods are same. Most of the methods I'm talking about. Okay. But yes, when I say the set, so let's check it out, the hash set. What it is doing. What it is doing, hash set. And other than the hash set, we have linked hash set. Linked hash set, we have it. And other than the linked hash set, we have what next? What next we are saying? Other than linked hash set, what next we are talking about? Other than linked hash set, we could have the another implementations, another thing which is the called as tree. Set. This is another one. So guys, did you understand how these all logics are being performed, how things are, means one concept should be there in your mind, that how these all are interrelated to each other. What is the in what different way the runtime polymorphism has been used in these cases. What is the use of runtime polymorphism? So the better use of runtime polymorphism you will find in these cases, the same methods implementation in a different cases like list, set and queue has been implemented differently in the different cases. That is one very important point from here you are understanding. Any question guys? Any question, any doubt? No questions. Well, now in the similar form, so we'll write some programs on the basis of this, and we will even be understanding these all things. So first we will list out all the features of list, set and the queue, and then accordingly we will be proceeding it for the further one. Okay.